Welcome to Nature Therapy Online. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Nature Therapy Online. I'm Stephen McCabe. I'm an ecotherapist or a nature therapist, and I work online at naturetherapyonline.net. This podcast is a place where we discuss the beauty of nature and we find ways of connecting with it and recognizing ourselves as a part of nature and celebrating ourselves as a part of nature. If you tuned in last week, you would have heard us discussing the way in which I approach ecotherapy myself, which is with a blend of mindfulness and creativity. So if you've jumped straight into episode 2, welcome and thank you so much for being here. And I'd recommend going back and listening to episode 1, because that will probably put the kind of ecotherapy I'm doing into context. So moving on, what I want to talk about today is the sky. How often is it that you look at the sky and pay real attention to what's going on up there? Right now, I'm sitting in our tiny little wooden attic room. My dog Euro is asleep under the blanket next to me, just like he was last week. And I've got a cat called Kathy, and she sat over there in my bag of radio equipment. It doesn't look very comfortable, I have to say, but she seems quite happy with it. And in this little room, we've got those slanted windows that you get on the slanty roofs of old cottages. So I'm lucky enough that as I'm sitting here, I can look right out at the sky. And it's something that I've brought into my life, especially more so since I've been living in this house. Because when you look up there, there's something so powerful about remembering. I'm of the mind that seeing ourselves as small is a really good thing. We so often walk around and in our lives as if we're the center of the universe, and we're not. We're small. We're tiny. The sky reminds us of that. It also reminds us of the possibilities that are out there. The possibilities that are unfathomable to us, whatever they are. The sky goes on into the universe, and even the most sophisticated of scientists don't understand the universe. I don't know about you, but if I try to picture a point where the universe stops, it seems impossible to me. It just feels like, how can it stop? And if it stops, what's there? If there's something behind it, what's behind it? If there isn't, what are we trapped into? But then the other option is that the universe goes on forever. It never stops. But how could that be? How could it go on forever and never stop? Seeing ourselves as small and as tiny is a relief. It's not something that puts us down or takes away the importance of the things that we're trying to do in our lives. You know, sat here in a tiny house in the middle of Scotland making a podcast, which probably at this moment, as of it going live, I'll be lucky if 1 or 2 people are listening to. It doesn't mean that because we're small, we don't do meaningful things in our lives, but it does mean that we can take a sigh of relief that we're not the center of the universe. The sky here today is quite grey, actually, which isn't that unusual for where I live in Scotland. People in this part of Europe understand what I'm talking about. But the shape of the dark clouds are really beautiful. And the shape that is here, that these clouds are making, same as the shape of the clouds wherever you are, if there are clouds right now, if it's daytime and you can see, or if it's nighttime and they're obscured in the stars, will never look like this in this moment, in this place, ever again. So how often do you pay attention? And this is an invitation to bring sky watching into your life on a daily basis, or even whenever you remember to. It's such a mind clearing activity. There's a great Buddhist metaphor for the thoughts that we have in our mind being like clouds. It's like it's always blue behind the clouds, and the clouds always pass through, and you just have to accept them. And our negative thoughts are like that. Beneath them, there is this clear consciousness that is relaxed and content. But we have to let the clouds pass through without believing that they're here forever. I want to invite you to do these specific tasks. So I want you, at some point this week, to fix your eyes at one point in the sky. It would be best done on a day when there's some blue sky and some clouds. But if not, do it anyway. And just fix your eyes in one place and watch the clouds passing. And see how you feel with that impermanence of it all. I want you also to pay attention to the night sky. Pay attention to the moon. The moon is so incredible. The different phases just reflecting the light of the sun. Sometimes not visible at all. Going through this predictable same pattern every month. Look up at times when the moon is there and try the same thing of fixing your eyes in one place where the moon is. And watch how quickly it passes by if you can lie still for 5 or 10 minutes. Nothing puts you in perspective like realizing how the moon and the globe that we're lying on are both passing each other. And we're just lying down, cozy in our cozy place, there for the ride. Watch the stars. Remember to stay up till dusk sometimes, or even get up for dawn, and watch the colours. Watch the star that we rotate around just appearing or disappearing. And how it's us that's moving. Pay attention to the sky. That's my invitation for this week. I want to thank you very much for listening to Nature Therapy Online. I'll be back at the same time next week with another episode. I hope you're all doing lovely. Please contact me at Stephen with a PH, not a V. Stephen at naturetherapyonline.net. Say hello. Make some suggestions for where this brand new baby podcast should be leading. I'd love to hear your ideas. And I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Visit me online at naturetherapyonline.net.